First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Wang Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Kong, the Dzong Rinpoche. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Dukden Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahabala, the great Heruka Vidyaraja, Dukden Siddhi Rinpoche, Simu, all the Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are the Director of the Tourism Division of Nantou County, Mr. Wang, and Director of the Civic Affairs Department of Nantou County, Ms. Wu, and the Head of the Religious Department of the Civic Affairs Office of Nantou County, Mr. Zheng, and the Secretary to the KMT Party of Nantou County, Ms. Xu, and the Director General of the KMT Party of Nantou County, Mr. Wu, and the academician from Academia Sinica of Taiwan, Professor Zhu and Mrs. Zhu, and the former Chief Secretary of the Taiwan government, Mr. Zheng Peifu and Mrs. Zheng, and the members of Tributary School Scholars Group and Medical Group, and the chairman from the Lida Leather Company, Mr. Lin and Mrs. Lin, and the general manager of Jingyi Enterprise, Ms. Zhang, the wood sculptor, Mr. Jian,
my university same classmate 朱清水先生及夫人陈哲霞女士
Mr. Zhu Jingsui and Mrs. The President of the Worldwide Lotus Light Charity Society and the producers of the Great Perfection Dharma Lamdre and Sutra Perfect Enlightenment Master Lien Yue, and the host Master Lien Hai and Miss Pei Jun.
My sister Lu Shengmei 女士
Miss Lu Shengmei,
My sister Lu Guoyin 女士 and her husband. 感谢大义雷藏寺
and gratitude to the building committee of the Da Yi Leizang Temple for their donation of 101,000 NT dollars. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
Selamat siang, selamat petang, sawadee-ka, kamsahamnida, hola, amigo, que quiero mucho. Domo konnichiwa. Sugoi ichiban. Kimochi ii. Merci beaucoup. Saoji. Doichi. 总之，大家好啊。
In summary, how do you do? All the greetings in different languages. And today, I would like to express some gratitude Thank you to the True Buddha Yellow Emperor Temple that I will transmit the Buddha Dharma the multi-body transformation of Golden Mother. And Golden Mother is all capable and with great power, very mighty, and can transform into multi-bodies. And I welcome you all there on February 17, 2019. So I was asked to say all those by the Dharma educator Chun Lian. So to welcome all of you there. And we also want to express gratitude to who? To heaven. Why? Because they give us such a good smog. So the PM 2.5 is for you to breathe for free, right? It's free, right? You can breathe the PM 2.5 for free. So even for the smog, we should be grateful. Why should we be thankful? Because they are testing our breathing system and our lungs. So if you have strong respiratory system and the lungs, then you would win over the smog or PM 2.5. However, if you don't pass the test, then that's even better. Then you can be reborn into the Western paradise, to the Buddha land sooner. So we should be thankful. It doesn't matter what kind of arrangement it is, it's always good. So I hope that you can pass the test. And I hope that I myself can test the test, can pass the test, that I don't have to run away from it. Thank you. I was thinking, Simu told me yesterday, this time, this is what Simu said. Will we be able to go back to Seattle this time? Can we really go back to Seattle? And I replied that there shouldn't be any problem. Because we have this made in Japan, air purifier made in Japan, right in front of my chest. So there's a guarantee. If we cannot return to Seattle this time, I ask you that you would protest to the inventor of this thing and then ask for reimbursement. from the country of Japan. So this is really a test. This morning when I woke up, I look and it's all smoke. And as soon as Master Hui Jin got into the house, she announced it's red, warning red, and especially in Nantou, it's extremely horrible. Also in Taichung, it's really bad. So I hope that the heaven would help and Mahabala would help. We don't want any free PM 2.5. And we don't want any smoke. We don't want any air pollution. I hope that Mahabala will bestow upon us more rain to wash away the PM 2.5 so that they all got into the drains. Master Changren, he's right here. So you have a statue of Mahabala sculpted, placed here on the dragon side near the city gods. It's 3 times bigger than the one at the Rainbow Temple. And we also have Atisha and Chongkapa enshrined here. It was donated by the Dokchen Center of Hong Kong. So you're very rich, huh? You know, that statue is incredible, especially Atisha and Tsongkhapa. And Master Changren had donated many Buddhist statues in many temples, and he provided his support and cheap prices, good prices. And the sculptor is here. We would like, please, the sculptor of these statues, please stand up. Thank you. So the statues that he made were extremely majestic, beautiful, marvelous. So in the future, if you want to have some statues sculpted, you can ask Master Changren to contact this sculptor. Thank you for coming, and they have made beautiful and majestic statues. When they should be beautiful, they're beautiful, or handsome, or just majestic, or the young ones, they're as they should be. Like the young and handsome Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they're really handsome. Or if they are middle-aged and above, then they are truly kind and compassionate. And the wrathful ones are really wrathful. So I visualized Mahabala for a very long time. I was truly mindful of him. 3 eyes, 2 teeth, his tongue, a red tongue, and his whole body. and one hand is holding a pole or staff, and one holding a whisk, and one holding a lasso, and one is forming the Tarjani or the subjugation mudra. Extremely majestic. One key point in Tantrayana, you have to learn to be able to visualize in great details and clearly. And as soon as you visualize that he would descend right away, and even better, that whomever you visualize, your root guru, yidam, protector, to be in union with you. And if you can be in union with them, then that's called the spiritual response or yogic response or spiritual union. The key is in the visualization, because in each of the sutra, for example, like the Guhya Samaya Tantra or Yamantaka Tantra, are considered to be the father Tantra. That's for methods or convenience or skillful means, also representing compassion. And Hevajra and Chakra Sambhara represent the mother Tantra, which is wisdom. Kala Chakra is called the non-dual Tantra. It includes Father Tantra and Mother Tantra, and that's Kala Chakra. So if you practice Guhya Samaya and Yamantaka, primarily you practice for the illusory body. The illusory body will appear. If you practice Guhya Samaya and Hevajra, or Chakra Samvara and Hevajra, Chakra Samvara and Hevajra, primarily you practice clear light or lucid and clear light for the appearance of this clear light. So for Kala Chakra, you practice both the illusory body and for the clear light. So that's the non-dual Tantra. So the 5 Heruka practices. The Mahottara is also the non-dual Tantra. It's the combination or the union of both Father and Mother Tantra. Those are the 5 Heruka practices. And the spiritual cultivation in Tantrayana, for the development stages, the most important one is the visualization. For the perfection Dharma, which is what I will be teaching today, is the 4 bliss and the 4 emptiness. Those are considered the perfection stage. And from the perfection stage, you would generate illusory body and the clear light. And illusory body and both clear light are the Buddha nature. This is extremely important. So Mahabala today, the most important part is by practicing this deity. If you have Mahabala as your yidam or personal deity or main deity, then you would gain spiritual union with Amitabha Buddha, who's on his crown. So his crown ornament is Amitabha Buddha. So he's holding the pole or the staff. So he is Padma Kumara. He's holding the celestial whisk or duster. So he is Golden Mother. He's holding the Vajra chain. That's himself. That's the mighty attendant of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. So Siddhigarbha, Mahabala, Amitabha Buddha, Padma Kumara, and Golden Mother. So if this deity, Mahabala, can be in union with yourself, then you would gain spiritual union with 5 deities. So if you can have attainment in this deity, with this deity, then he is also your yidam and your protector. And you would have attainment of the Heruka practice, of Vajra protector practices. Then if you have attainment of fruition in his practice, then you can be reborn in the Buddha land. Then Amitabha Buddha, Golden Mother, Padma Kumara, Siddhigarbha, Bodhisattva, it's emanation, that's Mahabala. So Mahabala is the emanation of these deities. Padma Kumara, Amitabha, Golden Mother, and Siddhigarbha. So the mudra is this Tarjani mudra, the subjugation mudra. And most important, it's very easy to visualize. Just look at this statue here and imprint it upon your brain. Imprint it. I really like the way he holds the pole like this. And then the wrist from here and shake it. And then this hand is holding the Vajra lasso. And then the other hand is forming the Tarjani mudra. And he is standing in a bow and arrow position. The bow in the front and the arrow at the back. And if you visualize according to my method, and then visualize his third eye, his open mouth, his face, and then the 5 Buddha crown, and then all the things that he is holding can move. Today, Mahabala descended continuously 3 times on my body. Once he descends, my face will change. My face typically is like this, but as soon as he descends, then my face would be different, would change to become like his face. So that's spiritual union. Once you have been in spiritual union with one deity, then when you invoke other deities, typically they would also be in union with you, and you would know that they descend upon your body and you're in union with them and you're merging with them. You would feel it. Then your body would change. You would become Mahabala. You can feel it. Then you have Mahabala performing the Mahabala Dharma. Then it would be effective. Then there would be results. So this is the attainment of the development stages. So the spiritual union with the deity is for the development stages. And the perfection stage is about the channels, light drops, and inner fire, and channels. That's the second level empowerment. Until the body would generate illusory body, the Buddha nature would appear, and the clear light would appear. The pure light would appear. So that's the completion of the perfection stage. If you can have attainment of the perfection stage, then you can go to the Buddha land. Once you have attainment in your perfection stage, sometimes you can also attain Buddhahood in this body, in this lifetime, and you can go to the Buddha land or Buddha's pure land directly. Then you would have attained Buddhahood. So in Tantrayana we talk about two stages. One is development stages and one is perfection stage. And development stages is up to the spiritual union with the Yidam. And the attainment in the perfection stage, you can attain Buddhahood in this body, in this lifetime. That's what Tantrayana is about. And development stages put great importance on visualization. And perfection stage puts importance on all the sensations and feelings of everything in your body. The circulation of the qi, the channels which focus on the central channel, the light drops, and between the inner fire and the light drops, the circulation of the two.
再讲一点这个道果的这个。
So that was Mahabala. And now we will talk about the realization of Lamdre. Now it's 5:41 and dinner time is at 6.
见地为具生四喜智。
So the realization is the wisdom of the innate four blisses. So when you practice the qi channels and light drops, there would be four blisses. So we say bliss, superior bliss, supreme bliss, and innate bliss. But here in Lamdre, it's different. But they also talk about four blisses, and what they are, that's the pleasure or the bliss. If the bliss is small, it's called the bliss. And if the bliss is more, then that would be called the superior bliss. If you're truly blissful, then that's called the supreme bliss. And the innate bliss is when you're blissful all over your body, that all the cells are dancing, that you feel bliss all over your body. That's the innate bliss, So let me read from the excerpt. The stages of the visualization of the four blisses, the placement of the visualization of the four blisses, the severance of the visualization of the four blisses, and the nature of the visualization of the four blisses. The stages of the visualization of the four blisses has been taught during the instruction on the path. And the placement of the visualization of the four blisses are divided into the outer placement and inner placement. And the outer placement is based on the place of the bliss. It's called bliss when the bliss is generated in some parts of the body. Superior bliss is when the bliss is generated in most parts of the body. Abandoned bliss or the supreme bliss is when the bliss is generated in all parts of the body. And the innate bliss when the bliss is generated in all phenomena all over the body. And my brother Gao Minglu was talking a little bit about this. He said, when the light drops were about to be emitted at the secret chakra, it was not emitted out, but it went up and down and up and down, and he experienced blissfulness for 24 hours. So it was about to be emitted, but not quiet, then he experienced the bliss for 24 hours. And he said something as big as a ping pong ball. That's what he saw at his secret chakra, going up and down and up and down. Based on what I know, is this: the body chakra would melt and descend to the throat, and this would generate bliss. And from the throat chakra to the heart chakra, it would generate the superior bliss. And from the heart chakra to the navel chakra, it would generate the supreme bliss, the most supreme bliss, extreme blissfulness. And from the navel chakra to the secret chakra, that it would generate innate bliss. And that means blissfulness all over your body. That's based on what I know. So the other day I asked him, was your ball coming from the top to the down to the bottom? And then you would feel blissfulness all over your body? And he said no. For him, it's just at the secret chakra, going up and down and up and down. It's about to be emitted, and then he retracted, and then it's about to be emitted and then retracted up and down 24 hours. So tantric practitioner would experience this bliss. And for women, the blissfulness is the same as the climax. And for men, it's the same too. It's also climax. However, it's not leaking, so no emission. But for women, there would be emission. But it's okay. So for man, if they have an emission, then his bliss would be short. But once you have gained the non-leaking Dharma practice, then you would experience great bliss and perfect and lasting. That in Tantrayana you would be able to see pure light and clear light. And this can be experienced when you sneeze. When you sneeze, all of a sudden there's a flash of light. That's called the pure light or clear light. It's very short that you can barely catch it. Do you feel blissful when you sneeze? Yeah, a little bit, a tiny little bit. So when you sneeze, you would experience a very short blissfulness, and the light flashes a very short time. So you can barely catch it. And second, when you're dizzy, I'm so dizzy and faint. And then you crouch and then you stand up, and you would be able to see stars all over. And of them you would also be able to see that clear light, but you can't recognize it and you cannot merge into it. So when you pass out, the clear light would flash too for a very short time. Or when you're in deep sleep, the pure light or the clear light will also appear, but you will not be able to recognize it. And in meditation, it will also appear. When you're in deep meditation, your Buddha nature, the pure light can also appear, but also for a short time. and rarely. And it would stay longer when you die, after you die, in the bardo state. At that time, all the chakras would open, including the heart chakra, and the Buddha nature would appear. At that time, the clear light would be clearer. It would be like the clear blue light, the clear blue sky of autumn. So at that time, you want to recognize and realize this Buddha nature and the empty nature, and you need to merge with it in order to have attainment. So it is bliss when it is generated in some parts of the body, superior bliss when it's generated in most parts of the body, abandoned bliss or the most supreme bliss is when it's generated in all parts of the body, and the innate bliss is when it is generated in all phenomena all over the body, and that's the most blissful. And for the inner placement, bliss is from the crown to the throat, and the superior bliss is from the throat to the heart, and the most supreme is from the heart to the navel, and the innate bliss is from the navel to the secret chakra. Like I just said earlier, how to treat the four blisses. And the severance of the visualization of the four blisses is the crude distinction of bliss is the severance of placement, superior bliss is the severance of self or ego, and the abandoned bliss is the abandonment of the attachment to the mudra, and the innate bliss is the severance of the three kinds of bliss above. So this is a different kind of description. So bliss is when it is the crude distinction. And superior bliss is when you let go of self. And the abandoned bliss is when you let go of the attachment to the mudra. And when you let go of the earlier three kinds of bliss, that would be innate bliss. And in Mahayana Buddhism, we heard that you would feel peace and calm in meditation. So what is that? Peace and lightness, that's bliss in Tantrayana. So what tantric practitioners practice, the bliss they experience is because of non-leaking. Once you're non-leaking, naturally you would experience bliss. And the non-leaking is from the body chakra at the crown, descending to the throat. This part is bliss. From throat to the heart chakra is the superior bliss. From the heart chakra to the navel chakra is the most supreme bliss. And from the navel chakra to the secret chakra is the innate bliss. And what Dhamma brother Gao Minglu experiences at his secret chakra, this moving, bouncing there. So the bliss at the secret chakra should be the innate bliss, that should be the most blissful. So by being non-leaking, you would experience this. So do you have this experience? Of course, for the short-lived or the very momentary, very short-lived bliss would be experienced by those who have been married. However, the bliss experienced by tantric practitioners is called great bliss, and they're divided into 4 kinds. It's the same kind of bliss with the short-lived bliss, but the time, the length is very long, and you are non-leaking. So you have to be non-leaking to be considered having attainment. So now you're clear about this?
天气变冷，本来想买件羽绒的外套。
So it's cold and I want to buy a cashmere sweater and it's 5,000 NT dollars. However, the cold medicine is only $100, so maybe it's more economical to get the cold. So this kind of method is called the pramana of logic, the measurement by logic. So comparison. You want a short-lived bliss of the human world, or you want an everlasting bliss? Of course, the everlasting bliss is better, it's good, because you know the short-lived bliss would become an everlasting grief because the wife is pregnant and then you have to raise the baby, then it would become the everlasting suffering. And that's because of the short-lived bliss. And then you have a kid, and sometimes you have to raise until they become adult, or sometimes you have to raise them all their life. So that will become an everlasting grief. But we can't say that because sometimes children bring joy to us too. But that's just a comparison. So you just want a short-lived bliss and then it's gone, or you want the light drops and the inner fire moving up and down in your central channel, and the bliss generated from it. That's an everlasting bliss, the kind of bliss that make you so blissful to the extreme until you faint. That's really different, a really different matter. So that's comparison. The woman A said, my husband is that when he's reasonable, then he doesn't be kind to people. And then the woman B said that all the time, my husband's all the time, and woman C said that the time never be kind to us. And in a few days we would celebrate New Year's. So after the Chinese New Year, I would be 75, and I would play do re mi. You know, because XX have been saying for 10 years that I would die at 73. please remember to remind me, because as an elderly I forget that I have to play do re mi, because I'm 75 now. That she was wrong, because she's been saying that I would die at 73.
我也是得理不饶人。
So I'm also not forgiving when I'm right. But Simu is always non-forgiving, always unforgiving. So even when I'm right, there's no use. But Simu is really capable. She's truly capable, and she can do many things that I'm incapable of. And she's helped a lot in Jupiter School. And she's very she's a very good mediator, and she can resolve things perfectly to make everybody happy and to make both sides happy. So her brain is very, very flexible, very dynamic. So although her body is suffering from ailment, but her brain is very good. It's functioning really well. The wife asked the husband, when will we live in a better house or more expensive house? And the husband replied, very soon. And the wife was very happy. Really? And the husband replied, sure. Because the landlord is going to raise our rent next month. So that's walking in place or stepping in place. So we know in Taiwan there was 22K. And I heard that the president said,
23.1K.
Now it's 23.1K. Really? What? Just over 1,000 more? Is it just with the Taiwan temple? Do you know how much is it?
$23.1
23.1. 1,100 more? So what can you do? With by taxi from Taichung to Taiwan Temple, how much? 700. And then round trip? So it's not even enough. So there's no need to talk about it. So I'm just making an analogy. But she didn't count the inflation of rent and pork and the rice and McDonald's and everything has gotten more expensive. And now you just give more, 1,100 more. At least you should give 10,000 more, right? So this is the minimum wage. So you talk about it so loudly with only 1,100 increase. And we don't even give raise here for, say, at the Taiwan temple to the people. You should give a raise so that everybody is happy. So the base salary, the base wage, from 22K to 23.1K. So we've talked about this one. Xiaoming and Xiaowang. What is stress is when the wife is pregnant, and anxious is when the mistress is pregnant, and then shock is when both are pregnant, and the terrifying part is that when he's already tired. However, if you don't emit, if you have no emission because you have the you tie delegation, like being neutered, that's not called non-leaking. It's kind of a vasectomy. So when you are not in argument, you feel that you can die for the partner. That's called romantic love. But after argument, you wish that he would die. But afterwards, you still wish that, how come he's not back? So that's stage by stage, like development stage to the perfection stage. In our spiritual cultivation, that in tantric practice, you first practice the development stages until you have attainment, and then you practice the perfection stage, because then you would have your yidam to bless you, then you would generate greater power. However, if you don't have attainment in your development stage practices, and you practice the perfection stage, it's okay. So there's some people who practice both the development stage and the perfection stage together. However, if you have completed and have attainment from your development stages, then you would be blessed by your root guru, your yidam, your protector. Then it would be very easy to have attainments in your perfection stage practice to help adjust, harmonize your body into the best condition. Then it would be faster for you to have attainments in your perfection stage. That's how it is. I am very grateful to the Mahasri Simu, the Mahasri Simu, that in this life, during this period of time, she suffers a lot, but she has a tremendously strong willpower. Had it been me who's sick, then I would let go long ago. I will not abandon Tribuddha school, but I would retire long ago. Had I suffer her suffering, I would let go long ago. So that's why I'm very grateful to Mahasri and also to Lokaswara, the goddess of wonderful sound, because she's also ... So Lokaswara also is helping me, has also helped me. And we also have 2 emanations of Lokaswara. One is the daughter of Jian, Mr. Jian, and the other one is Master Lien Miao. This is also an emanation of Lokaswara. And the daughter of Mr. Jian often offered the essential oil to me, a very nice essential oil. And Master Lien Miao has helped us a lot too. And she was the director of our Seattle temple before. So Master Lien Miao has also helped Seattle temple and has lived in Seattle for a long time. And we have received a lot of her help too. So here I would like to offer gratitude, and I also thank you for coming. Om Mani Padme Hum.